Welcome to ComfortTV.channel news, bringing you verified and balanced news from Nigeria and around the world. I am Faith Kevin. Thank you for joining us again this morning. In the headlines, SERAP urges transparency in INEC chairman appointment process. Nigeria re-elected into ICAO Council. Ogun's Gateway International Airport set for first commercial flight. Nigeria's police arrest extradite wanted Beninese fugitive to Cotonou. Nigeria Customs rolls out one-stop cargo clearance hub. Governor Yusuf transmits names of 2 commissioner nominees to Kano Assembly. On business news, Unity Bank clarifies AMCON stake sale. Researchers urges Niger Delta governments to tap into insect and oyster farming opportunities. On the foreign scene, Colombian president dismisses U.S. visa revocation with defiant response. Sanctions reimposed on Iran 10 years after landmark nuclear deal. And on sports, Alonso says Real Madrid deserved derby loss. Former France manager Blanc sacked by Saudi side Al Ittihad. Now the news. The Socio-Economic Rights and Accountability Project, SERAP, has called on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to urgently disclose the details surrounding the selection and appointment process for the next chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC. The appeal was made public via a statement posted on X, formerly Twitter. The current INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, is set to conclude his tenure in November 2025. SERAP emphasized that the process to appoint his successor must not be a closed shop, insisting that transparency and accountability are essential to uphold democratic values and public confidence. The organization argued that openness in the appointment procedure will serve legitimate public interest and strengthen the credibility of the electoral body. Highlighting INEC's pivotal role in Nigeria's democratic framework, SERAP stressed that public trust in the Commission's independence and impartiality is directly linked to how its leadership is chosen. Nigeria has secured re-election into Part 2 of the Council of the International Civil Aviation Organization, ICAO, with 163 votes. Part 2 of the Council is reserved for countries making the largest contribution to international civil aviation facilities. The election took place at the ongoing 42nd International Civil Aviation Organization ICAO Assembly in Montreal, Canada. Nigeria's candidate, Engineer Mahmoud Bentukur, emerged victorious after a contested election involving 11 other African countries. Special Advisor on Media and Communications to the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Mr. Tunde Mashood, in a statement said Bentukur has been Nigeria's representative to ICAO and that he will continue to occupy Nigeria's seat on the Council, further strengthening the nation's role in global aviation governance. Engineer Bentukur was re-elected with an impressive 163 votes out of 185 eligible member states, demonstrating strong international confidence in Nigeria's leadership and contributions to the aviation sector. Nigeria joins 11 other countries re-elected into Part 2 of the ICAO Council, including Egypt and South Africa from the African bloc. The outcome reflects the resilience of Nigeria's aviation diplomacy and the strength of its global alliances within the ICAO family. The Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Mr. Festus Keyamo, described the victory as a proud moment for Nigeria and for Africa, noting that the re-election reaffirms the country's commitment to the growth of the international civil aviation and the promotion of safety, security, and sustainability in the sector. Gateway International Airport, GWI, in Iperu, Ogun State, will receive its first flight on October 7. The state government disclosed this in a statement, saying a domestic carrier value jet would operate the flight. ValueJet's Managing Director Captain Dapo Majekodumi said the airline was excited to operate to the GWI airport as soon as it is commissioned to commence flight operations. Meanwhile, ValueJet for now will be operating 2 weekly flights to Abuja on Tuesday and Thursday at 8:30 a.m. to arrive Abuja at 9:45 a.m. and from Abuja to GWI at 16:00 and arrive in GW1 17:15. DWI is in Ilashan, Iperu, Ogun State, Nigeria, near the Shagamu Interchange and Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Last year, the airport was granted an aerodrome operational permit by the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA. Governor Dakpo Abiodun disclosed that flights would soon begin operating from the airport to Abuja and Port Harcourt. He added that the airport has been designated as an alternate landing site for Lagos Murtala Muhammad International Airport, thereby increasing its strategic importance for both domestic and international aviation. He further stated that with the world-class infrastructure, international connectivity, and a strategic location, the Gateway International Airport will raise the bar for air travel in Nigeria and serve as a proud symbol of Ogun State's progress. The Nigerian Police Force (NPF) has arrested a notorious Beninese fugitive, Sunday Kotin, and handed him over to authorities in Benin Republic. The fugitive, wanted for a string of cross-border crimes including armed banditry, smuggling of firearms, cattle rustling, and drug trafficking, was apprehended in Idi-Iroko town, Ipokia local government area of Ogun State, following a discreet operation by operatives at the NPF National Center Bureau (NCB) of Interpol. According to a statement signed by the force's public relations officer CSP Olumuyiwa Adejobi, Interpol Benin had requested Interpol Nigeria's assistance to arrest Kotin, who fled into Nigeria to evade justice after 7 members of his syndicate were arrested and put on trial in Benin Republic. The suspect was interrogated on his alleged transnational criminal activities before being formally handed over to officials of NCB Cotonou. Inspector General of Police IGP Kayode Adeolu Egbetukun commended the officers for their professionalism and assured that Nigeria would not tolerate fugitives using the country as a hiding place. He reaffirmed the NPF's commitment to international law enforcement cooperation, saying the Nigerian police force remains resolute in safeguarding the sovereignty of Nigeria, preserving the rule of law, and strengthening bonds with international counterparts. The IGP also assured both Nigerians and the international community of the force's relentless pursuit of criminals, steadfast partnership with global law enforcement agencies, and firm obligation to ensuring peace, security, and justice for all. The arrest and handover underscored Nigeria's commitment to regional and global security cooperation. In a bid to accelerate trade facilitation and improve efficiency at Nigeria's ports, the Nigeria's Customs Service (NCS) has launched a one-stop shop OSS initiative aimed at cutting cargo clearance time to just 48 hours. Unveiled during a high-level management meeting in Abuja, the platform brings together key customs area controllers and senior officers under the leadership of Controller General Adewale Adeniyi. The reform, according to Adeniyi, is designed to streamline operations, eliminate redundancies, and provide greater predictability in businesses engaged in import and export. Beyond customs, the OSS is positioned as a cornerstone of the federal government's ease of doing business drive, aligning Nigeria's trade environment with international standards and offering relief to shippers long constrained by delays and bureaucracy. Under the OSS framework, all customs units will join handle flagged declarations, eliminating multiple checks and reducing delays. Consignments cleared under the OSS will not be subject to re-interception, a move aimed at reducing costs and enhancing trade facilitation. The Abuja meeting also provided a platform to review the service's accountability framework, including a new central dashboard that tracks clearance times, interventions, and stakeholder satisfaction. Adeniyi assured the customs area controllers that the reform would be piloted at Apapa, Tin Can Island, and Ona ports before being rolled out nationwide, adding that the initiative is fully sponsored by the NCS's Act 2023 and aligned with the World Trade Organization's Trade Facilitation Agreement (TFA). Governor Abba Yusuf of Kano State has forwarded the names of 2 nominees to the Kano State House of Assembly for confirmation as commissioners. The nominees are a son designate Abdul Karim Mode and an associate professor of allied mathematics, Dr. Aliyu Isa Aliyu. This is contained in a statement issued by his spokesperson, Sunusi Dawakin Tova, in Kano on Sunday. Dr. Isa Aliyu is a renowned researcher in mathematics and currently serves as the Statistician General, Director General of the Kano State Bureau of Statistics. While Barrister Mode is a seasoned lawyer with extensive experience in office administration, court proceedings and corporate practice. The governor has also approved the appointment of Salisu Tahir as the new Solicitor General and Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Justice. Mr. Tahir previously served as the Director of Public Prosecution in the ministry. Governor Yusuf reaffirmed his administration's commitment to promoting competence, professionalism, and integrity in public service as he injects young and energetic new members into the cabinet. ComfortTV.channel news returns shortly with business, foreign, and sports news. Many thanks for staying tuned. This is Comfort TV, the channel's news. On business news, Unity Bank PLC has made further clarifications regarding the sale of the Asset Management Corporations of Nigeria's AMCON 34% equity stake in the bank, confirming that the shares were acquired by an existing shareholder and not by Providus Bank Limited. The development is set to signpost stakeholders' confidence in the future of the merger of Unity Bank with Providus Bank, as the newly enlarged Providus Bank will now boast expansive branch network across Nigeria and stronger capital adequacy ratio. The chairman of Unity Bank PLC, Hafiz Mohammed Bashir, made this disclosure at a court-ordered shareholders meeting held in Abeokuta. The clarification followed reports that Providus Bank had purchased a stake in a 6.5 billion naira transaction involving over 4 billion Unity Bank shares. In a statement, Unity Bank confirmed that the transaction executed on September 25, 2025 on the Nigerian Exchange Limited (NGX) shortly after the lifting of the suspension on the shares involved an existing investor. At the court-ordered meeting in Abeokuta, Unity Bank shareholders overwhelmingly approved the proposed merger with Providus Bank Limited. Out of 295 shareholders who participated, 293 representing 99.32% of the total shareholding valued at 4.4 billion naira voted in favor of the merger resolutions. The new entity will commence operations with about 230 branches nationwide, giving it one of the most expansive physical networks in the industry. It will also launch with a strong capital adequacy ratio, ensuring competitiveness on the Nigeria's evolving banking reforms. Still on business, a researcher has called on Niger Delta State government to seize new opportunities in insect and seafood farming. Speaking at the 2025 Make in Nigeria conference in Port Harcourt, Professor Clint Kabari of Rivers State University warned that factories ready to process oysters, prawns, shrimps, and other seafood are being held back by a lack of mass production systems to supply raw materials. He urged government to support the large-scale production of cockroaches and black fly maggots as cheaper sources of protein for poultry and fish feed, saying high feed costs are threatening the industry. Kabari also identify periwinkles and other local produce as export opportunities waiting to be tapped, and called for technology transfer to enable commercial-scale production in the region. On the foreign scene, Colombian president dismisses U.S. visa revocation with defiant response. Colombian President Gustavo Petro has dismissed the U.S. decision to revoke his visa, calling it proof that Washington no longer respects international law. The U.S. State Department said Friday that his visa was withdrawn over reckless and incendiary actions tied to a speech he gave at a pro-Palestinian protest outside the UN in New York. President Petro joined thousands of demonstrators and declared Colombia would present a resolution to create a World Salvation Army, with his first task being to liberate Palestine. Petro said that revoking his immunity for denouncing genocide showed that the U.S. no longer respected international law. He added that international international law granted him immunity to go to the UN and insisted that genocide was a crime against humanity with which humanity must respond to, judge, and punish. In New York, he urged U.S. soldiers to disobey the orders of Trump, instead obey the orders of humanity. President Petro, who has severed ties with Israel and accused his government of genocide in Gaza, also told the UN General Assembly last week that Trump was complicit in genocide and called for criminal proceedings over U.S. airstrikes on boats accused of drug trafficking. Still on the foreign scene, sweeping UN economic and military sanctions have been reimposed on Iran 10 years after they were lifted in a landmark international deal over its nuclear program. The new measures took effect as the three European partners to the deal, the UK, France, and Germany, activated the so-called snapback mechanism, accusing Iran of continued nuclear escalation and lack of cooperation. Iran suspended inspection of its nuclear facilities, a legal obligation under the terms of the 2015 deal, after Israel and the US bombed several of its nuclear sites and military bases in June. Iran President Masoud Pezeshkian insisted last week that the country had no intention of developing nuclear weapons. The reintroduction of sanctions, which Pezeshkian described as unfair, unjust, and illegal, is the latest blow to a deal that was heralded as a turning point in Western relations with the long ostracized Islamist nation when it was first struck. The Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action (JCPOA) places limits on Iran's nuclear installation, its stockpiles of enriched uranium, and the amount of research and development it can undertake. It aims to allow Iran to develop its nuclear power infrastructure without straying into making nuclear weaponry. On sports news, Real Madrid coach Xabi Alonso has said his team deserved their 5-2 thrashing by rivals Atletico Madrid in Saturday's derby clash. League leaders Los Blancos had won all their previous games this season, but were outplayed by Diego Simeone's side at the Metropolitano Stadium. Alonso said his team were not combative enough against the Rojiblancos, who played with intensity and attacked relentlessly. Alonso said that his team lacked intensity and did not compete well enough at the level required for such games. He admitted they were not happy, but stressed the need not to forget what they had been doing well before. The manager explained that they were in a state of progress and that their reaction will be important in the next game. He added that it would not be smart if they failed to take something positive out of the pain they felt from the defeat. Still on sports, Saudi side Al Ittihad sacked manager Laurent Blanc on Sunday in the wake of a 2-0 defeat to Cristiano Ronaldo's Al Nassr. Al Ittihad announced on social media that Blanc's assistant Hassan Khalifa would take over as caretaker coach until further notice, with the club third in the Saudi Pro League, 3 points behind Al Nassr after 4 games. 59-year-old Blanc joined Al Ittihad in 2024 after a low-key spell coaching League One Lyon. A standout centre-back in his playing days at clubs including Marseille, Inter Milan, and Manchester United, he was part of France's 1998 World Cup winning team on home soil, but missed the final after being sent off in the semi-final against Croatia. He returned to manage France in 2010 and leading them to the quarter-finals at Euro 2012, after which he was replaced by Didier Deschamps. Despite guiding Paris Saint-Germain to 3 League One titles between 2014 to 16, his failure to make an impact in the Champions League led to his departure in 2016. And that's our news bulletin for this morning. Before we go, here is a recap of our top stories. SERAP urges transparency in INEC chairman appointment process. Nigeria re-elected into ICAO Council. Ogun's Gateway International Airport set for first commercial flight. Nigerian police arrest, extradite wanted Beninese fugitive to Cotonou. Nigeria Customs rolls out one-stop cargo clearance hub. Governor Yusuf transmits names of 2 commissioner nominees to Kano Assembly. On business news, Unity Bank clarifies AMCON stake sale. Researcher urges Niger Delta government to tap into insect and oyster farming opportunities. On the foreign scene, Colombian president dismisses U.S. visa revocation with defiant response. Sanctions reimposed on Iran 10 years after landmark nuclear deal. And on sports, Alonso says Real Madrid deserved derby loss. Former France manager Blanc sacked by Saudi side Al Ittihad. Thanks for watching. For breaking news, exclusive interviews and more, follow us online at ComfortTV.channel on all platforms. Remember to like and share our videos, subscribe to our channel, and click on the notification bell so you don't miss out on any updates. I am Faith Kevin. Until next time, stay informed, stay connected.